This is a more typical Bronze Age spear. You see it's been hafted on the end of its haft there with quite a complicated looking mess of leather and so forth. Why is that the case? Well, this is because the early Bronze Age spears heads were tanged and not socketed. It took them really quite a long time to get the idea of the socket. So the tang of the head goes into the end of the spear, and you've got to split the stick, which of course weakens it, and then you've got to bind around it to stop everything rattling around, and you can use various glues and resins and so forth to hold things together, and there's a peg in there to give the lashing something to grip to. It's not the strongest arrangement. Interestingly, when socketed spearheads were first invented, they obviously didn't trust the technology that much, and perhaps the tanged form was sacred in their minds, because the first socketed ones have tangs as well, which makes the socketing much less effective. But you know, that's human conservatism for you. Now this haft has been put on it as a sort of a temporary measure. We've no reason to believe that people would have used natural bits of wood like this. You can see this is just the limb of a tree that's had the little twigs smoothed off it. Their woodworking skills in those days were pretty good. They had lathes. Occasionally we get bog finds of beautiful lathe-turned furniture with all sorts of twiddly bits. And so they were perfectly capable of making nice, smooth, straight pieces of dowel. So we've every reason to believe that that's what they would have had in battle. This spear, as you can see, is about my height. I'm 6'3". It's very easy indeed to hold right near one end and wield. It's quite a light head, and I've no trouble at all moving this around and pointing at my various foes. I could put this on the end of an 8-foot spear and it would still be quite wieldable, I'm sure. So this is the more typical Bronze Age spearhead.
It's lashed on, it's lashed on,
Tang,
it's
it's a
lashed
spearhead,
on,
it's a spearhead,
it's lashed
it's a spearhead,
on,
and it's bronze.
it's
It's a
lashed
spearhead,
on,
it's a spearhead, it's a
lashed
spearhead,
on,
and it's bronze.
I managed to sit all the way through the film The Eagle the other week, and I didn't realise this, but it seems that the Picts weren't actually a sort of Iron Age culture living in North Britain at all. They were Red Indians, Navajo types who had been somehow transported, and they made everything out of jaw bones of goodness knows what sort of animal, and everything was mounted on wiggly bits of wood like this and had bones all over them because they were evil and primitive and... how can I put this? No.